I try not to be like super controversial. Maybe a little bit, tease it here and there. You gotta tease it a little bit. But overall, like baby mama drama, trauma, like I don't do that, dude. I kind of keep to myself. Like I never go to the Bassmaster Classic, to ICAST. I sort of kind of keep to myself, and that's the way I like it. Maybe it's not the best financial decision for me. I probably should be out there mingling and doing some stuff. But in the end, I want to fish. I want to learn about fishing. Like, that's my gig, dude. I love doing this kind of game and sharing it with you guys sharing stuff with me. With that being said, we're going to get a little controversial. I'm going to ask a question that kind of clarifies something on a controversial subject. So, I think it was a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, I posted a video. I had gotten some text from my buddies basically saying, like, one of them was like, I'm never bleeping watching live again. And live, like pro fishing live, like MLF, Bassmaster Elite Series when they do the lives. I've always really enjoyed the lives because I think it's raw and uncut. And one of my biggest complaints with pro bass fishing is, if you guys watch the videos, you know, is just the amount of selective bias, you know, or just blatant lying that occurs when it comes to techniques, when it comes to approaches, things like that. So the lives were sort of like this uncut, direct sort of pathway to see what these guys are like, what they're thinking in their heads, how they're approaching things. And I thought that was super cool. But I got these texts from my buddies like, I'm never bleeping watching it. I got another one like, dude, I'm so sick of watching these screen masters and watching their backs and just staring at their backs as they go doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. So it kind of led to another question. You guys dropped a bunch of comments, and really the majority of comments on that video were, I'm sick of watching live. There are a few of you guys who are still down for the lives. Personally, I'm still watching the lives. I don't like chase them down nearly as much as I used to, but I like watching it. If I can pull any little nuance or just understand a little something more, I'm all about that hunt for information. But the majority of comments and the majority of you guys said that you weren't watching lives, you were sick of it. And in relation to forward-facing sonar, the absolute reliance and focus on forward-facing sonar, Livescope, Active Target 2, whatever, you know, Mega 3s or Mega Live, Hummingbird. So one of the questions that I have for you, and it's kind of important to me, and maybe it's like a personal selfish question. I shoot these videos, right? I'm always trying to kind of learn myself, capture these moments, because part of it too is like I don't like have a mount of a bass, but I have thousands of videos of catching giant bass, medium-sized bass, spotted, smallmouth bass, like doing all different techniques, and that's sort of my little like collection, you know, my little trophy room, all these little videos about learning different stuff, having these experiences on the water. And then the other benefit to that is I can share that with you guys. So if I learn something, like maybe you don't need to learn it, but I'm going to share it with you. And if you can take something away from it and learn from it, that's great. And that's kind of what's happened over the past years, you know, is I'll share some of this content, whether it's flipping, whether it's finesse stuff, whether it's Ned rig fishing, whether it's offshore fishing, using graphs. Like, I capture that stuff, I learn something, and then I'm like, you know what, if I learn something, maybe somebody else can. So the question that I have is, I'm into and interested in the forward-facing sonar. I've gotten pretty decent at it. Not as good as some of these guys like my buddy Jacob Wall and that, but I definitely like it. I've always been, you know, electronics adjacent. You know, I used to flip a ton, I still do, but as I learned about graphs and things along those lines, I really enjoyed it because, you know, I use these cameras, I use the internet. Like I've always been about using technology to kind of hedge, you know. I'm not super important, I'm no professional angler, blah blah blah. So like I've used kind of video and things that I understand a little bit better than somebody else to sort of get an edge, to sort of, I don't know, kind of make my place in fishing and be able to get my voice out and get my voice heard. And so when I saw forward-facing sonar, it was definitely something that sort of gave us a look into this vast mystery that I'm always trying to figure out, which is, you know, fish, catching fish, how they behave. And so I've really gotten into it. I've caught a lot of fish using it. I've seen some stuff that's blown my absolute mind. Hundreds of fish stacked in an area that Al Lindler would say, you know, they're not there right now, Mike. They're out in the shallows on the flats, you know, chasing bait. They're not out deep in that trench in 40 feet of water. There ain't no largemouth over there. But Al was wrong. Even though he's right about a lot of things, Al was wrong about a lot of things. So the question that I have for you is, if you come to watch content on Mikey Ball's Fishing and you're watching to kind of learn some stuff as well as kind of have some shenanigans, you know, see my dog, he's pretty cool, you know, maybe catch a little rack action with Swimsuit Girl, like I don't blame you, I do the same thing. But if you're doing that and you're coming for mainly a learning experience, are you someone who wants to learn more about forward facing? Or since the majority of you guys commented that like you're sick of watching people's backs, you're sick of staring at guys that are staring at a screen all day, like is that not interesting to you? So basically what I'm wondering is, even if maybe you commented that you have no interest in watching lives and the way it's formatted, do you actually have Livescope or forward-facing sonar, active target 2? And are you trying to learn on your own, even though it's sort of like boring and disinteresting to watch it in the tournament sort of stratosphere? Like, is that something that you want to learn about? And I ask for a very simple reason, because like I said, I like it, and I think it's revealed a lot about fish behavior and things that I never knew, and I don't think a lot of people knew. We're seeing now, and we're able to catch them in sort of modified ways from what we were doing, but in a much more real-time manner, because you can see the fish, you can see your bait, all those things, video gaming, right? Do you want to learn more about that, even though you're not interested in watching it happen on the tournament level? Like, do you yourself actually want to sort of expand your skills, you know, learn how to use different techniques in the context of forward-facing sonar, you know, implement different strategies for using forward-facing sonar to find fish? Like, is that something where, even though you don't have an interest in watching it in the tournament end, you yourself want to do some of it and learn some of it and get sort of proficient at it? And that's kind of the question that I had, because I don't think there's a wrong answer. Like, even if you don't like watching the lives, but you want to learn more about how to use it and take advantage of this new sort of technological opportunity, because I don't think it's going to go anywhere. That's my personal opinion. They might regulate it a little bit, like we talked about, maybe putting like a limit on the amount of graphs, amount of transducers and things like that. But this technology is at its infancy. It's at the very start. Like, it's only going to get clearer. It's only going to get more precise. It's only going to get more revealing of what these fish do, and easier to use too. So the earlier you can get ahead, it's like computers. The earlier you get in, the earlier you get ahead, the more you know, the more you're able to sort of manipulate the technology and use it to the best advantage that you can. So that's it. It's a super simple video. Do you want to learn more? Are you somebody who doesn't want to watch live tournament fishing where they're staring at screens, but at the same time you want to go out on Saturday and use that Livescope to pin down some fish, try to catch them, and learn some of the best techniques, facilities, baits, and approaches to do that? Or are you somebody who doesn't want to watch that live, just gets bored with watching guys staring at screens, and you will absolutely never, ever, ever buy any kind of forward-facing technology for your boat, kayak, or whatever you're fishing out of? That's my question. It's that simple. Hit that like and subscribe button for me. I expect you guys to drop a million comments down below, because I want to get all your opinions, because there's a lot of nuance to this whole conversation. Some people are balls to the wall against it. Some people have it, but they don't want to watch it. Some people don't have it. They never want to see it. They don't think it's like real fishing. I get a lot of comments like that, where it's like, this is fake fishing. You're not even catching that fish. It doesn't count, which I disagree with, but that's what I'm asking for, is your opinion. So drop them below. We'll see you guys back out on the water talking fishing, and make sure to be as controversial as possible in the comments below.